currently sitting with curlers in my hair, and since I don't want you to get all peanut butter and jealous of my glamorosity, I figured I'd just keep the camera off just for this morning. Let the mystery that only Mr. Mo gets to see me in my hot curlers. It's a basic tenet of our marriage. You know, I mean, ask your grandma, ask your mamaw, the woman who owned all of one house dress, made biscuits with pure lard, and that's why you have 13 uncles and aunts, okay? Something about a hot curler and tater tot casserole that gets men in the Midwest Twitter pated. And speaking of Twitter pated, I have some curse words to say, so you'll have to excuse me if I because this story tests the Jesus in me, and I have found that I'm not a kind, forgiving person to begin with. I mean, the red hair is a warning, y'all. I decided to forego my natural color and, give the world a warning by giving red hair. But this is the most shameful story I have seen. So, a fundraiser for Texas football star Austin Metcalf's accused killer, that's right, the guy who said, and I quote, "I'm not accused, I done it," rakes in $60,000 as he claims self defense. Now, I love that everyone has taken off their economist hat and put on their expert lawyerology hat to explain to me that I don't understand self defense and that in Texas, you basically have the right to provoke. Now, that is not the case. People are not reading this, and what people forget about a self defense or an affirmative defense of self defense is that this kid is going to have to testify. This Carmelo Anthony is going to have to testify. And incumbent upon a self defense claim is that a reasonable person would find his actions reasonable. And I can tell you that most juries, well, I say that, but then you get cases. Most reasonable people aren't going to buy that someone telling you, hey, you can't sit here. And my daughter ran cross country. There was always a parent in their little tent area because these track meets, people try to steal gear. They try to get into people's stuff. I mean, there was always a parent, usually it was me as a crippled American. I mean, I'm not going to chase you if you try to steal something, but I can work my camera shutter on my phone, okay? Now, that being said, yeah, we don't know the words that were used, but I still contend that, no words equal a stab into the heart. A fundraiser for the Texas teen accused of fatally stabbing Austin Metcalf and leaving him to die in his twin brother's arms has now raked in over $60,000 as of Sunday, as the teen maintains that he acted in self defense. Now, the Give, Send, Go campaign was reportedly set up by the family of Carmelo Anthony, age 17, whom cops say confessed to the horrific stabbing at a track meet in Frisco, Texas last Wednesday. Now, we're going to have some issues with this Give, Send, Go because Carmelo over here is described as a 4.0, young scholar who's never in trouble when the investigation, even in its very early days, has discovered that Carmelo Anthony was multiple times cited at his school for fighting and bringing a knife to school. So maybe, just maybe, Give, Send, Go should maybe look at this fundraiser. As a family of faith, we are deeply grateful for all of your support during this trying period. Your prayers and assistance mean more to us right now, more than ever. Well, I'm going to pray you don't drop the soap, young man. And I'm going to pray that just like, the judge told Stacy Rodriguez, you made a bad choice and you were going to have years of your lives in prison, but every morning from this day forward, you can try to not be an asshole. Maybe, just maybe, you can do something with your life to make up for the life you took. Maybe. But instead, you're going to make yourself a victim. Okay. Now, the company, which also hosted a fundraiser that brought in hundreds of thousands of dollars for Daniel Penny's legal defense after he was charged for the New York City subway chokehold death, did not immediately respond to a request for comment to confirm the authenticity of that campaign. Now, the fundraiser has raked in over $60,000 in donations from 1,600 donors as of Sunday morning. Many of the commenters claimed that Anthony had been bullied by Metcalf before the 17-year-old allegedly pulled a knife and stabbed Metcalf in the heart. Now, what I will say is that these particular witness reports that are coming out claiming bullying or aggression from, Metcalf have not been substantiated. I'm willing if the cops come out and say, look, these two twin boys, they were all just being, aggressive, testosterone filled teenagers. One person decided to get a knife, the other person didn't. I don't understand it. Good luck, young man. The bullying must stop, one person wrote. Now, I'm surprised they could figure out how to, type, considering they seem so dumb. Let this be a message to all bullies. Don't start stuff and there won't be no stuff. Well, I can't even finish reading this because just dumbassery. That is dumbassery. Now, Anthony was arrested Wednesday. Wednesday, you know what he was doing when he was at that trap meet? Oh, yeah, he was skipping school. He was skipping school, went to a track meet, of which no school was he affiliated with that track meet, nor was he sanctioned to go to this track meet. So, really, really interesting stuff. Now, to show that humanity is always going to be good. Out of darkness, there's always going to be a light. And it may be teeny tiny, but every moment you take a walk towards that teeny tiny light, it gets bigger. Now, Metcalf's father, Jesse Metcalf, also launched a fundraising page on GoFundMe to pay for funeral costs for his 17-year-old. Now, in the page titled Honoring Austin Metcalf, Help His Family Heal, has reached $250,000 as of Sunday afternoon. Another page was also set up by Metcalf's mother, Megan, and twin brother, Hunter, to pay for funeral costs and any future legal battles they may have to endure going forward. Now, that page reached $102,000. A corresponding fundraising event is scheduled for April 14th at a local pizzeria where 25% of the pizza sales will go to that fund. Now, Metcalf's family said he had never met Anthony before. After the initial confrontation, Anthony unzipped a bag, reached inside, and told Metcalf, quote, touch me and see what happens. Now, do you remember when, law of self-defense was talking a lot about provocation? How you can't, threat or tell someone, hit me in the face. Go on, I dare you. And then when they proceed to swing on you, you take them out in self-defense. You cannot provoke a situation and then, invoke self-defense. Now, I'm not a legalologist, but that's what I think this case generally is, textbook example of. He basically sat in a tent to which he knows he doesn't belong. Now, if he is a student athlete like his parents claim, then you're going to know that these tents always are a big source of lost gear, theft, and a lot of, tampering and stuff. It's just, you don't sit under other people's tents. You just don't. I mean, now, granted, I don't understand running for fun or why you would want to run it, track to begin with, but you don't do it. It's not considered kosher. Now, moments later, Metcalf allegedly grabbed Anthony to tell him to move, and Anthony pulled out a black knife and stabbed Austin once in the chest, police said. Now, the teen suffered a stab wound to the heart and later died in the arms of his brother, identical twin, Hunter. Now, what I will tell you is, again, I know I found this on the New York Post, but there is an astonishing dearth of mainstream media coverage about this story. And I don't think that it's, okay or bad to at least put this out. We need to start having tough conversations, or there's going to be more of these stories out there. And if we never have these tough conversations, then maybe we can't stop the next Carmelo Anthony and, Austin Metcalf. Maybe if we have these uncomfortable conversations and we sit down and we, have frank, open conversations where we don't assume that the person is, a fan of Robert Byrd or, a bleeding heart Democrat, maybe if we could sit down and call a spade, this would get better. On that note, it does make me feel happy and at least raises my faith in humanity that both Austin Metcalf's fundraisers look to be over their limit as far as what they initially asked for. And, you know, kudos to the father of Austin Metcalf who said he could forgive, but I'm like the mama. Look, I don't know if I could ever forgive someone who did this to my child. And kudos to that man for his faith on God in God being so incredible. But no, no, Mo would not be going to court hearings because Mo would be likely to pull a Taylor business. Okay, I would be agility training for it. Like, ma'am, I thought you was crippled. Why are you in CrossFit? I was like, look, I only need 1 second. I'm gonna take my chance like Taylor. Gonna, see if I can run faster than a deputy can, well, clothesline me. Anywho, those are my thoughts for this morning, this soggy and cold Monday morning. Let's hope that it warms up. If you haven't heard it today and you really need to hear it from a mama, you are loved just as you are. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, but carry a sassy mouth and a tactical can of bitch fire, because kindness no longer equals doormat. I see you guys for Mornings with Mo, and then we have got a full day of Linda Sturmer. And we will be doing that all day on the Petty Express. So on this soggy, waterlogged Monday, I hope you'll join me. Please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for all of your support. And if you think other people might enjoy these musings, let them know. Share the good news of the Church of Mo to the world, as per always. Bye, guys.